From the new recording lair located deep beneath the Wine and Spirit store in Ephrata, Pennsylvania.
You're listening to the Masonic Light Podcast.
Studio 665 presents Masonic Light Podcast. This show is recorded by Masons, for Masons, and is for entertainment purposes only. And please, no wagering.
This podcast is not endorsed by any Grand Lodge, and the ridiculous ramblings of the hosts are their own. And now, here's your host.
And welcome, everyone, to Masonic Light Podcast, episode number 162. 162. Hard to believe. But
still here.
Yeah. So we are at the
We're at the Edward J. Mack Scout Reservation in Newmanstown, Pennsylvania, just north of the 322 and 501 interchange. It's a beautiful little scout camp. I found it when my kids were in scouts. Mm-hmm. And when I went out to the lodge in the hills out in Pittsburgh, and it rained hard enough to float Noah's Ark, I said, I want to do that back home, but I want a roof handy in case we need it.
That's good.
So we're here. Everybody's gathering in front of the dining pavilion.
And what are we going to do here?
Well, we're going to have a really nice dinner.
What's this thing called?
It's called the Lodge in the Woods,
there
2023.
It is. Yeah.
And we're welcoming about 200 or so brothers from around the area. It's down a little bit this year, be frank. But I think it's down for a good reason. And I think the reason is that there's just so much other interesting stuff to go and do in masonry in this area that I think it's just, there's only so many hours in the day or in the Masonic month. So, yeah.
So we're going to do a bunch of interviews probably while we're here tonight, but Jack has a lot of responsibilities with this event.
Yeah, I have nothing to do with this one. I have nothing to do. I'm not involved.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to let the rest of the lodge do what needs to be done.
Uh-huh. It's always a great goal, right?
But right about now, my world's about to explode. So you're going to hear me come in and out of this thing, and right now I'm about to go out because I see a car creeping in where it shouldn't be. So I have to go wrangle that.
So while Jack is walking away, I'll tell you that this, as in all of our episodes, are brought to you by our sponsors. I'm probably going to forget some, so I may come back later. George J. Grove & Son, Hiram Solomon Cigars, Intermezzo by Stephanie, Scott J. Helm Electric, and probably somebody else that I'm forgetting. But most importantly, our Patreon supporters. We thank you for continuing to support us in this endeavor. And you too can be a Patreon supporter for as little as $1 a month. We don't get Jack's echo because he's already left. But anyway, that's our opening for this. Josh and everybody else, Larry and others, will be popping in here before too long. And we'll be right back with more from the Masonic Light Podcast.
Why choose George J. Grove & Sons for your next home improvement project? At George J. Grove & Sons, we've built our reputation on quality and trust for more than 50 years. From planning to materials to installation, George J. Grove promises a home improvement experience second to none. Whether your goal is reducing energy costs, decreasing maintenance, updating curb appeal, or simply increasing the value of your home, the George J. Grove team will recommend and provide solutions that stand the test of time. Call 717-393-0859 for an estimate or visit us at georgejgrove.com.
Did you hit record?
I did.
Did you hit it?
We're on.
Okay. Because when we did the thing at the with the Oklahoma Indians, I forgot to push the button, and
Yeah, I know.
we didn't record most of the
But
whole day.
we're back.
But we're back again. Don't know where we've been, but here we are, and we're here with Nicholas Lane. Nicholas is, among other things, district deputy of the District of Hamilton in the Grand Lodge of Canada, Ontario.
Come on, Larry. Ask him a question.
Help me. Help me.
In the Grand
Nicholas, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. So
Tell
I'm
us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So, as Jack almost got right, I'm from Hamilton District A of the Grand Lodge of Canada in the province of Ontario.
Province. Oh, I knew
Right,
that.
province of Ontario.
Oh man.
And you're no stranger to the podcast.
No, I've been here a couple
I
times.
don't remember exactly the
theoretically.
episode, but I
I can't remember them.
yeah.
Well, you were a worshipful master then
yeah.
Yeah, I was Worshipful Master last.
of a virtual lodge.
Correct.
This
was
is your
really
second or third visit.
3.
3. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Did you sign the wall?
I did. I went back and signed the wall yesterday,
And
Monday.
Jack took him by the studio to
Signed
sign
it
it
in
in.
Did you
Dated it.
erase the faux signature off?
No, I left the faux signature on and
liked
left
it,
the Canadian
actually.
flag. I thought you did very
You
well.
said
Yeah.
it was a good-looking maple leaf.
Yeah, I was so excited, and I went and I dated it too.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
So yeah,
So you get service bars the next time you come.
correct.
That's
I
right.
get service,
You get
just
another
like what I'm wearing
service
on my
bar.
uniform
Scout
today.
uniform.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
at our scouts, our lodge in the woods, the dress for the meeting is business casual or scout uniform, and Nicholas is uniformed up, but we're waiting for the bling.
Yeah, the bling comes yet.
The
Yes,
bling comes out for the meeting
yes,
because you've got bling.
I do.
Tell us about your bling.
So here in my neck of the woods, pretending if I'm in here in my neck of the woods, the district deputy grand master has a dress code. It's very specific. I get to wear a tuxedo with tails, a white shirt with white vest, white bow tie, mother of pearl gold studs, mother of pearl cufflinks. I get to wear gauntlets. You'll get to see my gauntlets on my uniform.
The sleeves.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I get to wear white gloves. Yes.
He's like Wonder Woman.
Has to have a separate bag to get checked
Oh.
through.
I have a Mini Cooper, and the only way the luggage for my lodge regalia sits is I have to put both seats down because it can't fit in the Mini Cooper any other way.
That's funny.
Because it's that large. So, yeah, just a little bit of bling. It's kind of fun. We get to wear it for a year. Coming here, I had to call Jack and say, hey, Jack, who's the district deputy? And I need to talk to him so I don't overdress because I was told under no circumstances I was to always wear my tuxedo.
Yeah, they
Unless,
tell us that too, but
unless otherwise instructed so you don't overdress. So there's my stuff. Yeah, it's a nice drive. Took us about 9.5 hours. Drove past this on the way here. Jack's like, how did you drive past this? I said, I have no idea. I put your address into the GPS and it went left, right, left, right,
Through,
left,
like,
right, and
Higgins.
boop.
Right.
And then I was in Ephrata.
Canada operates with a different GPS system than we do. That's probably it.
Probably what it is. And the TomTom says it's 67 months out of date.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah, they're like, I'm sure there's
I
been
did
no
that once
routes
on a
built.
trip to California and ended up on a road that a forest fire had gone through, and so the road no longer existed.
Oh, gee.
And I'm like, okay, now what? So
I had mine take me through a cemetery once.
Yeah.
It was close. But
Exactly.
anyway, so you got to help out with our mentoring class.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Monday night, I showed up with a little black book and helped Jack with some of the new brethren.
Just saying.
Yeah, the ritual book. Yeah, our ritual. And we discussed with the two candidates there a little bit of differences of the fellow craft and what we do differently, and tried not to give them too much confusing information that we use.
They've got stuff to learn.
you all have got a much better second degree than we do.
I've seen a second degree in California. I would say we both have very good degrees. I would say our
Ours
second is a
good.
little
It's
bit
just
longer.
There's stuff you all do that we don't that I really like.
Yeah, I think I asked Jack. I said, "Where's your tracing boards in the lodge?" And he looked at me and went,
That's one of them.
I'm like, no tracing boards. How do you do the senior warden's lecture? Well, oh, you don't have a senior warden's lecture. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun. Yeah.
Very different. So what else did you do fun while you were here? Fun or interesting?
some guy got me a tour of the Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania, and I actually met one of my brethren from our virtual lodge, because he lives out here, right with your brother Rick Schwam, and this friend of mine took us for a private tour of the Grand Lodge, and it was spectacular.
It's a jaw dropper, that building.
I was like, he says, "This is cool, you'll like it." I went, "Oh, okay." And then I went to all the rooms and went, "How many Masons are there in this state anyway? There's got to be upwards of 100, because you guys can't afford a building like this."
We used to have that many.
So I asked Rick while we were going through the building. I said, "Rick," because Rick's lodge meets there.
Yes.
In the Egyptian room. And I said,
which, by the way, is the coolest room
it's
in the
coolest
Grand
lodge
Lodge
room ever,
Yeah.
maybe. But I said, "You're here every month, sometimes 2 and 3 and 4. Does it get old?
Yes.
Does this building become humdrum?" And he said,
No. No.
and he's right. It's pretty hard for that building to get humdrum.
But I liked the Egyptian room, but I thought there were other rooms there I actually liked better. I mean, the Egyptian room was definitely the fanciest room and had the most
bling
kind of thing. But the Renaissance room that was under construction, where we met Michelangelo.
Yes.
The painter.
Yes.
Doing reconstruction.
Michelangelo / Willie Nelson.
Yeah, / Willie Nelson. I really like that room. The Royal Arch rooms are kind of nice too, just to see the difference in them. So, to be honest, I like them all for different reasons.
Yeah.
But yes, definitely the Egyptian room was like.
Did you sit in the chair in the east?
I did, and I felt like I was like a little kid, man.
Isn't that cool? You need a step stool to get up on it.
So that was really interesting, because I asked Jack that first important question: how does the master hit and close and open the lodge while sitting in this chair when the pedestal's way over here? And he goes, "Well, we stand." I said,
Right.
"We only stand in Eastern Star and Lodge. The master sits for most of the night."
Yeah, that's another difference.
Yeah. It was kind of weird. So yes, I had my feet dangling down, looking
like Edith Ann.
That's always a fun picture to get when you're sitting in that chair.
It was the Lily Tomlin, Carol Burnett skit.
Edith Ann.
Yeah,
Is it
Edith Ann.
Yeah.
My name is Edith Ann.
Yeah. All I thought was one ringy dingy, two ringy dingy, but
That's the operator.
That's Lily Tomlin.
that's Lily Tomlin,
Yeah.
operator. But yeah, it was a.
God, how
it was
old are
fun.
we? Oh, jeez, never mind.
We're old.
We're
Keep going.
aging ourselves.
If you didn't understand that joke, you are not 50 years old or older.
That is correct.
That is correct. So, unfortunately, I have to bounce.
Okay.
Because I have cats to herd.
You go have Kurt
I
go.
will
we'll
drop
continue
back in.
on
You
here.
guys continue on, and I've got the Grandmaster queued up for you.
All right.
So you let me know when you need him, and I'll wave him down.
We'll get him over here as soon as
don't-
we're-
Don't be too long.
Yep, absolutely.
We won't be.
So tell us a little bit about, I know you did this probably on a previous episode, but talk to us about the virtual lodge, because during COVID in particular, I know
Yes.
that was I actually participated in that. I came in as a guest one time.
Yes, you did. I remember
And
that. Yeah.
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
How's that going?
So, still strong. I can give you from both hemispheres.
Uh-huh.
I know Larry wants to talk about another person we have as a friend in the southern hemisphere, but so most recently, I've been I'm the immediate past master of Endeavor Virtual Lodge 944 out of the United Grand Lodge of Victoria.
Okay.
That's the Australian lodge.
Right.
So there's two lodges. I'd call it a parent and a child.
Uh-huh.
So the other lodge I'm the secretary of, or past secretary, long story, is Cass Island Virtual Lodge. So those two lodges are doing well. I would say that Endeavor is continuing to grow. We're around 76 people from around the world, Masons. Our officers are predominantly Australian, with a couple exceptions. We have some Taiwanese guys.
Wait, predominantly Australian?
I know, it's hard to believe,
How'd you
isn't
let
it?
that happen?
I don't know.
That's not right.
I know, but we'll talk about Cass Island, which is predominantly U.S. based. Second is Brazilian. So Brazilian Masons love Virtual Lodge. But
Yeah.
anyway, so let's just talk about Australia and we'll come to the other one. So they're both working fine, I think, is the first question you said. And how did we do in Masonry? I think two things have happened. Many of us are zoomed out, both for work
Yep.
and for lodge. So I would say, in fact, in Australia, we have had a bigger problem with that because they use Zoom for everything. Whereas North American Masons, as most of us know, we weren't allowed to do much of anything on Zoom other than say, you can say hello, maybe do business, and probably do education, but there was no other real lodge work being done.
Right.
But in Australia, their Grandmaster said, at least in the Victorian jurisdiction, you can use what we did in Casa or Endeavor Virtual Lodge, and they did it across the jurisdiction.
Wow.
So they basically took our work and then said, okay, all of you want to be virtual? Here, we'll give you some work. So they were allowed to open and do work for almost a year. And we saw a decline of visitors. I would say the core group is still there. We probably get about 40 to 45
That's still a
people.
pretty good attendance.
Yeah.
That's still good.
So it's not nothing to sneeze at.
I haven't tuned in quite a while. Only I find this stuff boring. So.
You fall asleep
No
easy.
reflection on you.
No, of course not, Larry.
You need to start figuring out how to do virtual pot pie to get Larry to join.
Yeah.
You know, I'm almost a 50-year Mason, actually beginning of next year.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff just goes over my head anymore. I don't know whether it's a lack of attention, old age, or
It's
I don't
old
know.
age.
I have no clue.
We were talking about that off the air earlier about how, technology just continues to expand at such a rapid rate that it leaves you behind quickly.
Yeah.
And so.
Hell, I'm still trying to work my iPhone.
Yeah, exactly.
Had that, a year and a half?
Yeah.
Still learn things.
So in the North American side, where our lodge is a little different, so Casa Virtual Lodge out of Winnipeg, Manitoba. We have 40 members. 5 members are left for Manitoba. Our constituent officers are outside of the secretary. Only one Manitoba person is a officer. Our worshipful master is out of Colorado. Right Worshipful Brother Alex Herbert. Our senior warden is Rick Schwam. He's out of Pennsylvania. He told me the address. I can't tell. He's coming tonight. I'm going to find him. He's here. Our junior warden is out of Miami, Arizona. Let's see how well I do now. Junior deacon, senior deacon are both, one's out of New York, the other one's out of Michigan. Nope, New Jersey. Yeah, it kind of goes all the way through. So, again, we're getting about 60 to 70 people at our meetings.
Great.
We hold them on the 5th Wednesday and the 5th Thursday.
Uh-huh.
Which is okay some days, except when the 5th Wednesday and the 5th Thursday collided, and I'd have to stop going to lodge at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, and then go to sleep, and then get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so there's some days there where it was good to do it for a year.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot, but
Yeah.
it was good. They both survived well. Technology works well. But as I said earlier, I think people are sometimes a little bit zoomed out at the end of the day. So you have to have a really good speaker who catches the attention of the brethren out there.
Larry, you got one more question for our guest?
No, he's been here too many times.
Thanks, Larry. I love you too. You and your chickens.
Well, it's always a joy to see you.
Yes,
and
it is
it's
too.
great to have you back on the
Thank you.
podcast.
Excellent.
And we obviously are doing shorter interviews here today because we've got
A lot more
several
people to
people,
cover.
and we've got a really special guest coming up
Yeah,
next.
some
So,
guy
You're
after
just
that.
going to
Yeah.
have to come back for a long one.
Absolutely.
I can come
the
back another
studio.
time. Yeah.
Once a year is great.
Okay, we can do that.
No more than that, though.
Okay, no more.
All right. Well, thanks a lot.
Thanks, gentlemen. It was
All
great
right.
to meet you
Take
personally.
care.
Bye-bye.
As far back as the mid-1800s, records exist describing the pre-meeting tradition of brethren smoking cigars during and after gatherings. To this day, the practice of smoking cigars remains very much alive in many lodges. This custom is considered a time for brethren to relax, exchange ideas, and enjoy the simplicity and fellowship that is the very essence of our brotherhood. This is what Hiram Solomon Cigars is all about. Our starting principles are to bring Masonic brethren together in the harmony of a good cigar. Pull up a chair, sit back, light up any of our premium cigars, and enjoy the history.
Hiram Solomon Cigars can be found at fine cigar retailers. For a complete list, visit hiramandsolomon.cigars.com or check them out on social media to find out when they'll be at a live event near you. Hiram Solomon Cigars is pleased to be the official cigar of the Masonic Light Podcast.
All right. Well, most of you just heard us talk about we were going to come back at the Lodge in the Woods for a very special guest to be interviewed. And we actually did that interview. But
one of the best interviews of all time.
Yeah, it was. It truly was. But in typical Masonic Light podcast form, someone, and I'll admit it was I,
that guy.
Forgot to check and make sure that we were recording. So our special guest, and we're doing this a couple of weeks later, but we did want to go back and make sure that we got this. The Right Worshipful Grand Master of Free and Accepted Masons of Pennsylvania, Brother Jeffrey M. Wonderling. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate you. We appreciate the interview you did at Lodge in the Woods, and we even more appreciate you jumping on a call to help us recreate that a little bit.
Well, the pleasure's all mine.
Well,
I had a great meeting in the woods, and I'm more than happy to do it.
All right. So
you're the first Grand Master we've interviewed twice. How about that?
That's right. There you go.
I want to make sure I tell that to Gene Harrod. He's
there you go. We'll do that. Absolutely. All right. So, looking back on Lodge of the Woods, what was your impression of Lodge in the Woods, Ephrata style?
Well, the folks that night I told the story that the outdoor meeting was actually born in Connellsville,
right?
And we worked really hard when we did it. We hauled chairs in, we hauled tables in. And we did steaks, but we hauled in 5 or 6 grills, and we worked all day, and we had no tent, no cover. If it rained, you got rained on. And, the place, we had to work on the grounds and keep it cut and everything. And when I saw what you guys, your lodge did, you have a covered area. You have a perfect place to do it. You have an outdoor amphitheater. We sat on logs cut out of the woods.
Yeah.
We're using similar tiki torches, but we don't have fire pits. And I thought that it was a great setup. And you don't realize, what you're missing or what you have until you see somebody else's setup. And I thought they did a great job. It was
we couldn't have the 1,500 that you guys had out there, but we
yeah,
had a nice little crowd. Yeah.
Well, we actually last year we reenacted the friend to friend Gettysburg battle, and we had a live cannon fire, and we had reenactors and everything, and we have 814 Masons attend that.
Wow! And
I can't prove this, but I don't think there's a jurisdiction in the country that's had 814 Masons at one function from the in a Blue Lodge. In recent memory, I just don't think it's possible.
Yeah.
So we're really proud of that, but we're done. We've been doing it for 25 years. We're old dogs, and we threw the gauntlet onto the new crew. They're going to have to do it if they want to do it, and I'm sure they'll step up. But it may take them a little while to get their feet under themselves. So
that's what you're talking about is what was advertised as Lodge in the Hills, and it's
yes, the
Pittsburgh area. Yeah, and that
Hills.
Actually, as we spoke, that was the genesis of the Lodge in the Woods that we do.
Right.
I was out there for one of those meetings, and it did rain. And
Yep.
It rained like Noah's Ark. It rained, and I said, "I want to do this, but we need a roof," and that's how we ended up at the camp.
So it was a very.
We get credit to Jack for that because Jack actually went. I think it was the first one you went to, wasn't it, Jack?
The Lodge in the Hills.
Yeah.
Yeah, we received the Mark Twain Award from the MSA, and it was presented at that meeting. And we were out there specifically for the Grand Lodge meeting that preceded the Lodge in the Hills. So it was sort of a tie-in there, but it was just so nice. I mean, just to go out, they had this big tabernacle thing set up, and everybody processed in, and it was all very regal, and And by the time the tail end of the Grand Lodge got inside the tent, the skies opened up and it was over. But anyway, Grandmaster, what thoughts do you have for us other than demonstrating clearly that we don't know how to rule the universe?
Well, the thoughts I have, I've been, as I said at the meeting, in the woods that night, it's kind of funny. We have our fraternity and its value system. It's the best in the world, and this sounds like the wrong way to do it. And I'm into a little bit of marketing and PR and sales, so this is the exact thing you don't want to say to somebody. But by the way our fraternity has been, through no fault of anybody's. I mean, we had rules, and we were never allowed to share the fraternity. It was always so private, up until maybe 13 years ago. Yep. We weren't allowed to talk about it. I mean, it's in fact, in some notices still today said, once this notice has served its useful purpose, please destroy.
Yeah.
So
really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's still lodges that have that. And the truth of the matter is there's nothing that's private other than the 3 degrees we do.
Right.
So because of our privacy for 300 years, people were so afraid of it, and we haven't learned how to talk to people. We'll talk about everything. We'll talk about our kids. We'll talk about our sports teams. We'll talk about playing golf. We'll talk about girlfriends. We'll talk about whatever. But we won't talk to our best friends about the fraternity that we love. Right. And, and I think what happens is people think you have to be an expert to talk about freedom. That's not the case. The only thing you got to do is if you, whatever's in your mind about the fraternity, what you really like about it, you just need to talk like I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
About your positive experiences and what you like about the fraternity, and, and pick out good people and just talk to them about the fraternity, and you would be surprised. In fact, it wouldn't be surprised. You'd be shocked at how many would say, I want to know more.
Yeah,
so
you're absolutely correct.
There's people looking for this. And, nobody wants to talk about it, and everybody's afraid of it. What happens is nobody, it's like, I told my wife, I said, it's like when you're dating in high school. And there's all the guys standing on the one side of the dance floor, and there's all the girls on the other, and nobody wants to say anything because everybody's afraid of rejection. Right?
Yeah.
That's what we are.
Yep.
Somebody's gonna say, well, my friend's not gonna like that, and I don't want to hear the word no.
Yeah.
So
you did a good job at the Lodge in the Woods in your message that night of talking about that.
Yep.
Something that has had the impact on our lives like Freemasonry has. Why would we not want others to have that? Right.
It just absolutely amazes me. And I think I told this, I don't know whether I told the story or not. Now I'm slacking. I want you to know I'm slacking. This has been 23 months since I started a process, but 23 months ago, I decided, in my business or whatever I've ever done in my life, I've never asked anybody to do something that I haven't already done.
Right.
It didn't matter whether it was cleaning the bathrooms or whatever. It did not matter. I was gonna do it because I would never ask anybody to do something I would never do. So 2 months before, and I'm just as bad as everybody else. I thought, I'm preaching. I need to do, if I'm going to preach this, I need to do it. Yeah. And it was hard. I mean, I have great friends. I always thought would be Masons. I never asked them. So I just made a concerted effort. I picked out probably 20 people, really good guys, busy guys, but people that are quality individuals. And I privately met with them. We put that little open house thing together. It's about 20 slides. It takes 45 minutes. And 14 of them have signed petitions and are members of the Blue Lodge in 21 months.
That's awesome.
That's great.
So, and I think I could do one every month, but I've been kind of busy.
Yeah, just a little bit.
What? Really?
And as you said, the first time you do it, it's hard. The next time, it's a little bit easier. And by the 4th or 5th time, then you kind of know what you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like putting up a writer's, a sheets, or a wall. Once you get the first 4 or 5 and you have the template, and you just do it.
That's right. That is correct.
It becomes comfortable.
It's very much so. So yes. You mentioned that you're a good 1.5 years plus into your term as Grand Master. What does the future hold for you in the next few months? And then what are you most looking forward to? I won't say at noon on the 27th of December, but let's say January the 1st.
Well, one of the things I'm most proud of in a fraternity, and I said this in my inauguration speech, I said, it's amazing that I'm standing here as a Grand Master of Masons in Pennsylvania when you consider the only thing I ever asked for was a petition.
Yep.
So I wasn't looking for a job when this one came to me. And January 1st, I won't be looking for another job. Now, if somebody needs me somewhere, asks me to do something, and I think I can help, and I just didn't, and people think, well, you're going to be Grand Master. If somebody offered it to you, you're going to take it. My wife and I had long discussions. I just didn't say, okay, great, I'm going to be Grand Master. I'm going to do this because it's a heavy lift.
Yeah,
and if I didn't think I could move the fraternity or move the needle, which that's going to be for other people to decide if that happened or not, I would have never done it. So if somebody asked me to do something next year, but right now there's nothing I'm on my plate. My wife has informed me that she's flying to Florida after the first of the year, and she's not coming back until Memorial Day, and she doesn't really care what I do. So, that's pretty much in stone. So I don't know what the future holds, to be honest with you.
Okay. So
if the measure is, did he leave it better than he found it? I'm going to say that's an unequivocal yes.
Absolutely.
You've made it very comfortable. I'm going to, the word is commodious. It's just friendly. You've allowed people to relax without diminishing the formality of it, if I can say that. So,
right.
So from us, it's a hard yes. Well done.
Well, and the thing is, I'm more, and I mean, that may or not. I mean, like I said, that's not for me to say, but I appreciate those comments. But I will tell you this: the stuff that we've really tried to do, and I give kudos to the whole team, because there was a time where Grandmaster came in and nobody knew what he was going to do, and he did it. And then 2 years later, things were changed, and we've made a very, very focused effort between not only the four of us with the help of the Grand Treasurer and the Grand Secretary, but also it basically started at the end of brother Gene Harrod's term. We decided, and he coined a phrase, we were going to have a culture of continuity, where we're going to try we were going to try to start foundational, make a foundational base, and then each Grand Master, every officer, like PJ Roop, he's a junior Grand Warden. He's been brought up to speed. His opinion counts. We vote as a team. Now, naturally, somebody has to make a decision. The Grand Master always rules. But I can tell you this, that if the majority didn't want to do it and I wanted to do it, I didn't do it. Because we had to get away from this boomerang. Yeah. We talk about, I mean, I don't want to say too much about our work, but there's a word, we have two words. It's called freeborn. Mm-hmm. And I'm the Grand Master, and I consider myself an expert on a third degree, and I have to think whether it's in or out because it's been checked so many times.
Yep, I came into the line when we took it out, like a year before I went to the East, and then I had to unlearn it from that point. And now I'm trying to and I'm like you, or Grand Master. I now have to, when I'm conferring a third degree, I actually stop to make sure I get that in.
Yes. Yeah, but most of the stuff that I've done, quite frankly, are foundational things.
Yep.
With the Masonic committee for when the inquiries come in,
right.
The MAC, the Masonic Awareness Committee, and then we completely revamped the education and how we mentor people, online testing. That's all stuff that we're not going to know for 6 years to a decade. And the other guys, you encourage the guys coming after you. Hey, we came up with a plan. We put it down, and we hope it's the foundation. But we know it's got to be tweaked, because if we don't continue to learn and change as the times dictate, we're not going to make any progress. So, just hopefully we've made some good changes, and hopefully we've done it as a team. I can't take credit for any of it solely. So hopefully we'll just move in that direction. It'll be better for everybody. That's the goal.
Absolutely. That's awesome. One last question, then we'll let you go. When you were announced as the Right Worshipful Junior Grand Warden, getting in that line, I'm sure you had a vision of what you thought being Grand Master might be like. How is that different from the reality, 8 years later when you're in that chair?
Well, and I always hesitate to say this because, I'm blessed to have had the opportunity to do this. There's no question. I'm the 124th Grand Master in 280 years or whatever, right? And we started with two Grand Lodges, right? For the first 3 or 4 years, we had a couple of Grand Masters each year. And having said that, I really, and to this day, I understand it's there and I understand it's a big deal. But, everybody says, are you excited coming on the run up, right? And I could quite honestly would tell them, no, I'm not excited. Quite frankly, I'm scared to death. And I'm not kidding about that because, you think you have the skills and the tools to do this, right? But you don't know until you're sitting in that chair. And my biggest fear was I would fail the brethren. And that was a serious, serious concern. Mm-hmm. But I think what I learned about what you think it's going to be and what it is if you forget about trying to do the grandiose things and you just don't lose sight of yourself, don't change. You should be the same person coming out as you were when you went in. And because that's why somebody or a group of folks saw something in you that they thought was good for the job, right? So my thing was to just go in there. And I often said in some of my speeches, I'm probably not the smartest. I'm definitely not the fastest, but I will never be outworked.
Absolutely.
And that was the attitude I took. And I just tried to put one foot in front of the other and just try to make common sense decisions. And when I speak to people, I speak on a level that everybody can understand. Mm-hmm. And when you try to make it so it makes so much sense that people, the light bulb goes off and say, you know what? I can't find a hole in that argument. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's all I've done. I mean, I'm just a regular guy, just like everybody else, just happen to be in the right place at the right time. And I'm blessed. And I'm just so thankful for all the support. I mean, the support is unbelievable. The people, not only for brethren like yourself, but the people at the Masonic villages that work there. I mean, look at these people through COVID. They couldn't even go home. Yeah. And they couldn't do enough. They wanted to do it, and the staff at the temple and it just goes on and on and on and on. And the aides and the deputies and, they make it a lot easier than it probably really should be. So it's just, we have the greatest organization. We have probably I'm partial, but probably one of the most respected and greatest Grand Lodges in the world. And, I'm just lucky enough to be where I am, but I don't take any of it lightly. I'm blessed every day, and I'm going to give it, I'm one of those guys that there's no quit. So it's going to be whatever I can do between now and December 27th at 12 noon. But you can take this to the bank. The reason our lodge, my personal lodge, is so successful, this is a message to other people that are running lodges. You do the best you can. And on your end, think out of the box. Make sure it's Masonically okay with your deputy. But nothing is off the table. Bring in excitement. And for the guys that are going out, do what I'm going to do. Get out of the way. Don't do a thing. No. Because if you keep trying to run it, there's never any new ideas and we get stale. Yeah. Everybody should have their time. And that's what's going to happen with me. At 12:01, I'm out. If Brother Dirk calls me and wants me to do anything, I'm all in for him. If he doesn't call, I'm not offering. And I think that's why our lodge is so successful, because all the past masters just get out of the way. So that is really a recipe for success. I really think it is.
Well, Grandmaster, we don't want to take any more of your time, but we greatly appreciate you accommodating us in doing this interview. I know the brethren are going to love hearing from you, and I wish you much success. I think you've done a fantastic job as Grandmaster, and that's just not blowing smoke at you. That's an honest feeling. As you said, you've made it such that the common man, the common brother, can come and talk to you, can come up with ideas, and I think opening up the conversation about how we grow our fraternity is something that will live well beyond all of our years. So,
well, and I will leave you with this: I'm a huge REO Speedwagon fan.
Yep.
In fact, I'm going to see him Tuesday night in Johnstown.
Awesome.
And I will leave you with this: when I was walking in, my wife and I were introduced as the Grand Master at the inaugural banquet. They were playing "Roll with the Changes."
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
That was a message. Well, I'll give you a little sneak peek. At my going out banquet, it's going to be a message to the brethren. Keep pushing.
That's great. We look forward to seeing you at that. I know a lot of folks are planning to come to Lancaster for that communication and the installation and so on. So, but again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I guess, Jack, we should probably say if you're listening to this on the podcast, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to transport back to Lodge in the Woods for the other interviews.
Can we have our dues cards back, please?
Yeah, and thank you. And I want you to know, I don't know whether you can see this, but you see what I have in my hand here.
Oh, yeah,
there it is. Look at that.
Got the knife.
I carry it every day.
Outstanding.
I want to thank you for. Yep. So anyway, thank you for having me. God bless you. God bless America, and God bless all our Freemasons.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And we are back. We're joined by Josh.
Hello.
Yes,
I
you're on.
just want to say one thing. In the background, you're going to hear golf carts back and forth. That people had to park in a satellite parking lot, which is 2 miles down the road, to be transported up here.
Not exactly 2, but it feels like 2 miles.
But it seemed like it. But for some reason or other, we were waved in here for special parking.
Well, that's because you're with the Masonic Light podcast.
Oh, man, I felt good today.
Yeah. So, Josh, welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
All right. We are joined with a really special guest, someone I met actually at the Reading Cigar Smoker, the very first Reading Cigar Smoker, Cody. And tell us your last name, Cody.
Ogden.
Cody Ogden. And he's a first-year Mason. And so talk to us about your thoughts as you've kind of completed your degree work now, right?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
I just received my fellowcraft last Thursday.
Awesome.
And it's been an amazing journey so far.
Uh-huh.
My father is a member. His father was a member. So in some ways, it was just kind of divine intervention that I be a member someday myself. But it is unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life.
That's great. Well, and the fact that you're already getting involved in stuff, the social aspects, the cigar event that they held at Reading, this event, there are a lot of Masons that are Masons for years and years and don't get involved like that. So it's
it's just nice to be invited.
Yeah.
Especially not having received my third degree yet, to be able to participate, as early on as an entered apprentice and now a fellowcraft. The brotherhood is just an amazing.
You said you were invited?
I was.
You were invited. Gee. Out of the 167 people here, he's the only one that's been invited.
Yeah, it's not.
If you buy a ticket, you can come.
Well, somebody bought him a ticket, so that was
that's
the
nice.
good.
That's a really great gesture. Yes.
Yeah,
yes, it is.
actually. Not everybody's as tight as you are with money,
is that it?
So they invite friends to come with them. So, yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself outside of Masonry.
So I belong to Ephrata Lodge 665. I live in Ephrata, Pennsylvania. And professionally, I work in marketing technology. So I work for a company in New York working with large retailers, helping them with their email marketing programs and text message marketing programs. What I tell people is everything you hate about the internet, you're welcome.
That's great.
And then outside of that, I love music. So I play a couple of instruments, love going to concerts. I love target shooting and fishing and all those things. So
You're a good Mason then.
That's right. Well, and so at some point, I'm sure you'll join a couple of other bodies. I know somebody's already chasing you down for a Scottish Rite petition.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as it's done, even though they really can't talk to you about it yet. But if you tell them you're in music, they're going to have a job for you. Okay. They're going to have you either playing an organ or playing an instrument or singing or doing something. So, or you could sit in a chair on the stage like Larry and be part of the stage crew, right?
Oh,
you
yeah.
still on the stage
that's
crew?
in the back of the stage. Yeah, that was fun. That was a
Eats
great.
the donuts and
that was
drinks the
a
coffee.
very good experience. Very good experience.
All right. So, what do you know about what's going on here tonight? Anything?
So, based on what I understand, we're going to have a great steak dinner. And then we're all going to head down for Lodge. And the pictures I've seen, it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
So, some fire pits and just good fellowship. I'm looking forward to that.
That's great.
And it's a beautiful, this is my first time at Camp Mac, and what a beautiful facility.
This is unusual weather.
Yeah,
for this,
absolutely.
by the way.
It's usually either 100 degrees or pouring rain.
Exactly. When I was here about 4 years ago, it was 100 degrees.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for coming over and talking to us for a few minutes.
Love
and
the
being from Ephrata, you can come down on the second and fourth Wednesdays when we record there in the studio.
Sounds great.
We'd love to have you come by.
Appreciate the invite.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right. And we're back. We have another guest with us this evening, perhaps one of our most consistent contributors to the Masonic Light podcast.
Patreon.
He's a Patreon supporter. R. Scott Hoover.
The Tyler. Millersville Lodge. This is the first time Millersville Lodge has come to this. Before we were Charles M. Howe Lodge and Lamberton Lodge merged, which was a good handshake.
Yeah. We are affectionately known as Lamberville, right?
Or Millerton.
Millerton. There you go. That's it. Good. So you've been painting places lately.
Yeah, so we're making Millersville look beautiful one roof at a time today. I have never missed a lodge in the woods. That's something Jack Harley cannot say, who started this entire endeavor.
Right.
One year, Jack Harley was away on business, and he got down there, and there was no business to be done. So, very disappointing.
Well,
I did call him on that day. I said, Jack, I at least want to hear your voice on the day of Lodge in the Woods.
That's great. Larry, are you okay now?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah.
Can you hear us all?
These headphones were conflicting and confusing me.
It's to put the round things on the outside of your
No,
ears.
it wasn't working that way.
So how are things going at the new lodge, the new Millersville
Lodge?
Lodge?
Going great. We have our finances are well. In fact, we're going to hire an architect to give the wow factor to Millersville Lodge. That was at our last meeting. We were allowed to spend up to $8,000.
Ooh.
So we should have a lot of wow.
See what happens when you miss
8,000.
You miss a meeting, Larry.
It passed unanimously. We have some of the members of the podcast who were not there to give any objections.
Wait, I'm stuck at 8,000. What do you mean, $80,000?
This is just for the architect.
Just for the architect.
Oh.
And then the architect can tell us how to give the wow factor, because a lot of lodges do have a good wow factor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we want Millersville to also be in that, not just for more sparkling.
I've always enjoyed visiting down there. I've always felt very welcome, and it's good to see two lodges come together the way those two did, and stronger together.
We truly are. It was a good merger. In fact, Brother Larry was instrumental in that. And
we have Lamberton Killer over here.
Oh, I was very good at delegating all the responsibility.
Yeah, and I thanked you many, many times.
And I did ask when we were having our meetings at Lamberton, I said, I was caught by surprise. I said, why? I asked Brother Larry, I said, why are we going to meet in Millersville and not stay here at, in Lancaster? And Larry very graciously informed me, well, Scott, we own that place out there. We're not going to stay where we're just renting. So I said, okay, that makes sense. Now I understand.
That's great. So, you got anything else going on Masonically?
Yeah. Next, what is it? Monday night, we're doing for School of Instruction. We're doing a live third degree, so that'll be interesting to. Millersville Lodge will be doing that for the district, so that'll be good to.
How do you do a dead third degree?
Well, we don't have a candidate, is what actually happens.
I see. Okay, okay.
We actually get to raise the body.
So this is an actual conferral of a third degree.
Correct.
Awesome.
So,
but nobody's getting it right. When is this?
Next Monday night.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And hopefully you can be there.
No, I won't be there.
I have some questions about that afterwards.
Won't be shouting from the sidelines.
Right.
That's not the right word.
Not your typical School of Instruction, right?
That's how they keep them quiet.
That's right.
An actual degree, and no one's going to holler until afterwards.
Great. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by. I think we're all that's left to do is go eat.
I'm going to go eat a steak,
and then we'll go to the presentations at the official lodge in the woods. So, thanks for joining us. All right.
Hello, brethren. Dutchy Doug here to bring you an update from my lodge, the Broken Plow number 377. It is now September, and that means we are all called on again from refreshment to labor. But allow me the opportunity to tell you about an event that took place this summer. A brother in our lodge, Richie Wetterman, was an amateur meteorologist, and he decided that it was time to take his passion to new heights. So he purchased a weather balloon online, an Amazon special. As soon as the package arrived, Brother Richie ripped it open and oohed and awed. Being a prod mason, he painted an image of the broken plow on the side of the balloon. The day of the initial launch came, and he invited a bunch of the brothers over to his house to watch the spectacle. After the proper inflation pressure was reached, an appropriate prayer was said, and we all exclaimed, "So mote it be." The balloon started to rise up toward heaven. It was really neat to see it as it climbed against a bright blue sky. As it continued its climb, a gust of wind from out of the east came, and Brother Richie lost his handle. I guess he was using a slip grip. The balloon started to blow away, and we watched as it continued in a westerly direction. We all jumped in our cars and began to follow it. Richie was leaning halfway out of my truck yelling which way I should go. The balloon kept going in the direction of the Weidenhammer's farm. Now what you need to know about old man Weidenhammer is that he was a grizzly old veteran of the Cold War. He had spent time in Korea and was also stationed near the Soviet border for some time. Brother Weidenhammer was also a member of our lodge, but one of those dues-paying members who never showed up for anything. We raced in that direction. As we pulled down their long lane, we could see old lady Weidenhammer ringing the dinner bell like mad. As we flew into the front yard, we saw old man Weidenhammer running out with a shotgun in his hand. We could see he was yelling something up towards the balloon. He began jumping up and down. We quickly got out of the cars and yelled for him to stop, but just then he took aim and shot the balloon out of the sky. Brother Richie came running over and said, "What are you doing?" Old man Weidenhammer replied, "Why, that damn Ruskies are attacking and I shot it down." Brother Richie said, "What in God's name made you think it was the Russians?" Weidenhammer exclaimed, "I just look at the hammer and sickle on the side of it." "Don't know better, you old dummkopf, that's the broken plow," Richie yelled. We helped gather up the pieces and gave them all to Brother Richie. Our excitement for the day was to an end. Old man Weidenhammer did not apologize for his actions. According to him, you can never trust anything that doesn't have an American flag on it. I guess given his past, I can understand that. Brother Richie vowed to get a new balloon in the near future, and we all advised him to make sure that this time he paints the stars and stripes on it. Till next time, work hard, stay plumb, and on the lights when you leave the room. To learn more about the Pennsylvania Dutch language, culture, and history, please visit my website, padutch101.com, or my YouTube channel. Just search for Doug Maidenford or PA Dutch 101.
And we're back. It's been a great day here, great afternoon. We've had some interviews. We're about to go eat steak and enjoy the evening. So what do you think, Larry?
Well, I think it's been a great day. The weather is spectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. And like I said, I was here 4 years ago, and it was 100 degrees.
Right.
And that was bad. No matter eating a hot steak and a hot meal with 100 degrees temperature under a pavilion that has a tin roof, bad news.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And so anyway, and then I guess last year, 2 years ago,
poured. 2 years ago, it rained like crazy.
Yeah. This is the best we've had. And there's Steve Doctor.
Steve Doctor has
one of our
walked into the tent. That's
How
great.
you doing, Steve?
So we're
closing down, but come say hello.
We would be remiss if we didn't mention that this past be remiss if we didn't mention that this past Sunday was the first annual Pete Ruggieri Unrun.
Yeah.
And my understanding is the grand total is now up to $6,000.
Yes.
Which is an amazing first year. So
and it was a nice crowd that showed up too. It was really fantastic.
Yeah, there could have been one or two more, but Larry ended up on the disabled list again.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. It's disgusting.
Josh ended up sick, but it was a good time was had by all. Steve was there. We had a great time. The race lasted about 2.5 seconds, which was perfect.
That was good timing.
And
there were winded people too, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, we had some live streaming on our Facebook page during that event, and I think folks enjoyed that as well. So.
Did we have a lot of viewers on that?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, a bunch.
I was watching it.
Yeah.
You
weren't watching it?
Yeah, I was. I watched it.
Yeah.
I was just curious as the number of people throughout the country that actually watched it.
I saw a number right afterwards, and it was several hundred, and so
wow.
I'm not sure what the number's up to now, but I can check. So, Josh,
what's up?
Haven't had an opportunity to engage a whole lot, but what's going on in your world?
Not too much. Just working.
Yep.
Doing the normal thing.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. Still feeling kind of crappy, but.
Well, we were glad you're here, and good thing you're sitting on the other side of the table.
Yep.
All right.
I don't have COVID, by the way.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, because...
aren't you going to ask what we're going to be doing this for the next couple of weeks?
Larry, Goose and Gridiron, and...
Goose and Gridiron, Tall Cedars.
All right, what else?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. I've got a stated meeting coming up, the usual stuff. We'll catch up on our next episode on all the other fun stuff. Jack is still buzzing around here. He's going to miss the closing here, but that's okay. So Josh will virtually queue up the chickens. And Larry, why don't you take us home?
Oh, gee, this is going to be different tonight.
Yeah.
Special thanks to Josh Lamberton, our producer-director, who is here out in the beautiful, we're really in the mountains and the woods, let me tell you. We're really out. And to Jack Harley, our news director, Tim Dedman, our marketing director, and to our contributors, Dutchy Doug, Doug Maidenford, Austin Schifrin, and... oh, dear Lord, she's going to kill me.
Oh, what's her name?
Yeah.
Michelle Snyder.
Michelle Snyder. Thank you, Michelle. Don't hate me. Also to special thanks to Ephrata Lodge 665. Now, we're not in the studio. We're in the outdoors, but they're actually hosting a lodge in the woods, and they've been doing this for quite a few years. And special thanks for allowing us to participate with... Thank you, Glenn. Participate in setting up a tent and our studio and so forth. But thanks again. And everybody, thanks for listening. Have a great day, night, wherever it is, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Larry Merris. Thanks for listening.
This is Tim.
This is Josh.
Have fun. Do good.
There you go. Bye, everybody.